The Series 4 Apple Watch was released in 2018 and was a considerable improvement over the Series 3 Apple Watch. It featured a considerably improved processor, which was about twice the speed as the Series 3, along with a slightly improved redesign with the larger screen and more health sensors. The Series 4 Apple Watch can be picked up online for about 150 quid with 12 months warranty. And in my honest opinion, I think the Series 4 Apple Watch is the best value Apple Watch that you can buy in 2022. The Apple Watch that directly competes with the Series 4 is the Apple Watch SE, which you can pick up from Apple for about £250. The Apple Watch SE and the Series 4 have near identical performance, but the Series 4 actually has added features and comes in at a lower price than the SE. Admittedly, the additional feature of the Series 4 might be considered a little bit gimmicky. It's the ECG monitor, but for some people that may matter, and even if it doesn't really matter to you, it's nice to spend less and get more. The Series 4 Apple Watch is a much better buy than a brand new Series 3 Apple Watch from Apple. You're saving yourself about 30 quid and you're getting an Apple Watch that's just so much better. So I would definitely recommend the Series 4 over the Series 3. I wouldn't even recommend looking at the Series 3. It's not worth your time in 2022. And I think that the Series 4 is really comparable to the SE. Within this video, I'll give you a full overview of how the Series 4 Apple Watch holds up in 2022 and enable you to make an informed decision as to whether or not you want to go ahead and buy one. So starting off with design, this Apple Watch is almost the exact same physically as the SE, Series 5 and even the Series 6 Apple Watch. I've got the 40mm variant as I just have smaller wrists. The face of the Apple Watch has a 1.7 inch OLED display, which is a super display that's legible even in bright environments. The biggest difference between the Series 4 Apple Watch and the more expensive Apple Watches is that the Series 4 doesn't have an always-on display. So when you've looked at the time, the display on the Series 4 will go black, and you're basically just going to be wearing a watch with a black box on your wrist. This sounds like a big deal, but I really don't think it is. I've seen many reviews of people saying that they actually turn off the always-on display, as they don't want to be that guy with a constantly glowing wrist. So that's one of the biggest differences between the Series 4 and the more expensive Apple Watches. This is something that's up to you to decide upon, but for me, I've never found the screen going black to be an issue. It just takes a very gentle flick of the wrist and the screen lights up very quickly. The back of the watch is home to the heart rate sensor, and you're going to get a huge quantity of heart rate data from this watch. The Apple Watch is also a fashion piece as well. Rather weirdly, it's something that can look quite dressy if you're wearing it with a smart outfit, or it can look really casual if you're wearing it with a sporty outfit. So no matter what you want from your Apple Watch, you can definitely customize it with different bands and wallpapers to fit your fashion statement. So moving on to performance. Performance is a tough one to talk about because it's a watch, and what are you going to be doing with a watch that requires everything to be really fast? So personally, I just don't think you're going to notice any delays with opening apps, or you're not going to find this watch slow at any point. Scrolling through the UI is really quick and painless. Ultimately, the performance is great and it just works really well. For me, the main thing that I use my Series 4 Apple Watch for is tracking my runs. I've downloaded a few songs from Spotify to the watch and I connect up my headphones, and it's great for taking on a run. I use Nike Running Club to track my runs, and it does a really good job for that. One of the coolest features of this watch is the health rings. It's such a fun way to make yourself more active, especially when you're competing with friends. So me and a few friends, we do have each other on our Apple Watches and we track and compete with each other. I do also occasionally use this for maps, so when I'm walking around London completely lost, I'll use the maps on my watch. It's got an easy way of navigating the city, just glancing at your wrist to see the route to take. The health tracking features work really well, and this watch also has the ECG feature, which is something that the SE doesn't have. However, I can say for myself, this isn't something that I use very often. It's more of like a party trick, if anything. Sometimes if I'm out with a load of people and I want to show off the Apple Watch, I'll show them the ECG feature. But in terms of actual health use, I don't use it myself. The Apple Watch also tracks your heart rate data throughout the day and provides you with quite comprehensive data on your heart rate. And you can use third-party apps to try and make this data a little bit more manageable. So moving on to battery. The battery health of this particular Apple Watch is 80%, which is a bit low, and battery health is definitely a risk when buying used devices. So do make sure that you're buying your used Apple Watch from a trusted site. Find that even with 80% battery health, the battery of this Apple Watch is easily an all-day battery life. The 40mm watch has a slightly worse battery than the larger 44mm watch. So if I'm able to get a full day battery life with this one, I'm sure you'll be able to with the 44mm watch. So for me, I tend to charge it whilst I shower in the morning and get ready for the day for about an hour to 45 minutes. And it charges really quick in that time. It might not get to 100%, but it will charge up very fast. If you start a day with 100% battery life and you're out all day until the early mornings and you're using your watch a lot, you can wake up the following day knowing that you've got 25% battery or more left. I just don't think you're going to run out of battery within one day. So to conclude, if you're in the market for a really good and accessible Apple Watch, I think that the Series 4 is a good buy. I think the Series 4 offers you a lot more than the Series 3, especially when it can come in at a lower price point. The difference between the Series 4 and the SE is pretty negligible, if I'm being completely honest. It mainly is something that comes down to price. If you want to get the best deal and the cheapest Apple Watch, then the Series 4 will check that box. However, if you'd rather get a brand new Apple Watch that's very good from Apple, then the SE would be the one to buy. For me, I like buying used, I like getting a good deal, so I bought a used Series 4 Apple Watch. I think a concern when you're buying slightly older technology is software support. However, I think in this instance it's really nothing to be worried about. Apple is literally still selling the Series 3 Apple Watch, and that is about half as fast as the Series 4 Apple Watch. So I definitely think you're bound to have 3+ years of software support with the Series 4 Apple Watch, maybe more. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it insightful. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you again. All the best.